My respectful brothers and sisters, friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We have started this new series talking on translation. So this current episode we are talking on types of translation, but the next 4 episodes we are talking about verbal translation, written translation, back translation, simultaneous and consecutive translations. Now somebody may ask that what is the types of translation? With the types of translation, we have verbal translation, written translation, and sign translation or sign language translation. Now, somebody may ask, are there enough fields or are there enough jobs with this industry? Yes. First of all, you may, if you are interested, you may get a bachelor degree, a master, and a PhD in the translation industry. Secondly, I personally researched there is 51 fields of translation. Let me give you some examples of it, like economic terms translation, political science terms translation, financial translations, court-related translations, and let's say the dubbing, let's say the engineering terms, let's say the medical terms, and all different fields. So yeah, 51 fields of translation, and also concerning the titles like translator, senior translator, translation manager, different types. So different titles, sorry. So we have 40 titles of jobs, 40 titles of different jobs for translation or in the translation industry. So now let's begin with the translation types. As I said, the first one we have is a verbal translation. So this verbal translation has 2 different types. One is simultaneous translation, which simply means that somebody's keeping on his speech or her speech, and you're required to do the simultaneous translation while he and she is talking, and there is no stop, you just have to keep on. But with the second type, which is consecutive translation, with this one somebody may speak for a couple of sentences, then he or she may get a pause, and then you're going to translate that. Once you're done with that, then he or she begins again, and this is the scenario, it keeps on. Now, with the second one, written translation, with the written translation, then we have the methods, and then for methods we have some details. So the first thing is that with the methods we have human translation called HT, which simply means that somebody is just sitting with a notebook or on the computer, laptop or something else and just doing translation. Now the second one is a machine translation, or called MT, which simply means the machine is going to, or the technology is going to make a translation for you. Now we do go to in this detail, but let's say the third one, or the C, is called post-edited machine translation, PEMT, which simply means that once something is translated by a technology device, then you have to edit that, then you have to prove that. Okay? So with the machine translation, we have the websites like Google Translate, and you may find others. Then we have the apps or the applications for voice translation. We have applications for written translation. And also, just to let you know that there are some researches. I have personally been through that, and I have also seen the researches done by BBC. So they have done a research on whether the verbal apps vs the written apps, which means verbal apps are better or the written apps. So the verbal apps were better, concerning the quality of the translation, verbal apps were better than written apps. But you can use both of them, whichever you need. And then we have another called Google Glasses. With this Google Glasses, it also helps you with translation, but it requires net or internet. So these were the IT or the technology with the machine translation. Now with the third one, it is called the sign language, right? So with the sign language, there is one point I need to mention. Okay, with the sign language, as I said, differ in every country, which simply means that if you're living in the United States of America, it's called American Sign Language. But if you're living in Afghanistan, it's a different. So my point is that sign language can be different in every single country. Let's say when you are doing hello or salam in American Sign Language, that's something over here, but when you are doing the same thing in Afghanistan, it creates a different meaning. In some cases, it could be even, dangerous signs. So that's why you have to know that sign language can be different in every single country, and you have to go through that and learn from that. Now, as we talk about the BA or the degrees, the fields, and the 4 titles, I'm inviting you guys with the next episode so we can go in further details for let's say, the consecutive translation, the simultaneous, the back translation, and so on. Thank you so much, and also please share the video with all those friends and brothers who are in need of such education. Thank you so much. You have a nice time.